Hello everyone, I'm Plasma Warriors, many like to call me that guy with the afro. And no, I am not in my bedroom. And wow, it's been a very long time, hasn't it? What have I been doing for the last 7 months? Uh, Stuff happened. I'll get to that in a later video, but let's get to the point, shall we? I have a 2-for-1 here. Yes, 2 conventions for the price of 1 video. Now, allow me to make this very clear. I said it before and I'll say it again. You never have cons compete with each other. They compete with the red on the balance sheets. So please do not give me the whole, but you're trying to fit a death battle between conventions. No, that's not how I do things. Clearly, some people think I'm that guy all the time. A lot of VTubers I can name right now. A lot. But no, I'm going back to my bread and butter. Conventions. And in this case, Anime Houston and Colossalcon. Now, if you have not seen my typical this is how I do things kind of deal before, I usually go list by list and see which one's good and which one's bad. So this is going to be a little bit of separation, but they're going to be in the same position. So if you're wondering which one I would go with XYZ, I'll get to it at the end. But I'm going to just try to address every issue as they come down my list and see which one would I prefer at the end of things. Now, this does not mean one con is better than the other per se. It's a personal preference, but I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I'm pretty blunt about some stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's get off with locations. For Anime Houston, it's pretty simple. Downtown Houston. Okay, you can get there pretty much from anywhere in the universe. And you know what? That's been a situation I get annoyed with a lot of conventions in Houston. Except for Anime Matsuri, which, no, I don't want to do that. Ever. Again. Delta H-Con, too far west. Onicon, Galveston Island, a tough trek, but you still can make it. Anime Texas, in the Woodlands. I swear you're having an easier time to get out of North Korea. And I'm only half kidding about that. So having a centralized location in a position where everyone can possibly get to is always a big plus. For Colossalcon, it's in a water park down in Round Rock. And this is where it gets annoying. I mean, the location itself is breathtaking. This is the best hotel you're going to get at a convention. Outright. I've never been in a better one. Unfortunately, it's in Round Rock, and getting here is very difficult. A lot of people flew in, and that means they had to go from Austin to drive down to Round Rock, and it's another 2.5 hours, basically, from the airport, which is frustrating. And I went Greyhound because I'm in San Antonio, so I don't have to actually take a half-hour flight. It doesn't make any sense. I could just drive up here if I had to. That was hard, too. I had to go from the Greyhound station in Austin to a bus station in Round Rock, Uber over here, and that's not easy. So, you want to say location is better when it's this gorgeous. Yeah, the gorgeous location does make up for the having to travel, but again, we'll get to that when I get to the end. Pricing. For Colossalcon, it wasn't too terrible. Can't remember offhand. I think it was $50 for the weekend. But then there's some add-on costs, and I'll get to that in a moment. For Anime Houston, $20 for a whole weekend? Holy cow! And here's some add-on costs, which we'll get to in a moment. You know, just real talk here. I don't mind the premium packages at all. I don't. And I'm not saying staff should get premium package deals included when they work. But if you're going to do a premium package, here's a tip. Make sure that premium package is not so incredibly annoying that you really think twice about having something go on. Told you I had some issues, didn't I? In the case of Colossalcon, there are these wonderful wristbands. And we'll get to that when I get to staff points later about a few things. And unless you're willing to pay for one of these or work for one, You're not getting into the water park over here, and that's a big oof. Again, I get it, but on the same end, ouch. For Anime Houston, there was a VIP package you could get for $100. Pretty good package, actually, for $100. And yeah, okay, you get your own swag bag and a refillable soda mug, one of those things you have at a Renaissance fair and stuff. The problem is, they're their own VIP lounge, and on paper, this sounds like a great deal, but it really was more like an extra cash bar and some snack foods. It's really not that great in the end. So both of them have a bit of an issue just getting people that extra that would make sense. To me, I don't really think either of them were that great. I mean, good, yes. Great, no. Oh well. But the staff on both were freaking awesome. Colossalcon, for the most part, everyone was just great, good energy. The DJ was awesome. um, the safety group is amazing. ConOps is doing a great job. Registration does their thing. Everything runs pretty smoothly. I really like the safety team, by the way, but I gotta give it out to Anime Houston's group. They have put together some of the better people in all of conventions. Really, really like their con ops, but I'm a little concerned about one area I'm gonna get into because it kind of like, but no at the same time. Both sides do this a little bit. I gotta give out through again the safety guys very specifically Wiggins at Anime Houston and Ryan at Colossalcon. Bravo! But can we please do a favor with any kind of extra help? Because it seemed like both sides understaffed. It really did. Either they understaffed or didn't get the right people in the right place at the right time. For instance, Anime Houston, there was a karaoke, and it was awesome, by the way. Karaoke was awesome. Shout out to Goku. But nobody was over there guarding that area for the whole night. It seemed like, okay, that's bad. And again, there was not much overnight stuff at Anime Houston, I can say that. For Colossalcon, they had an after party for everyone that wanted to buy into it. And some staff were allowed to go, but a lot of staff who weren't going to go had gotten those tickets instead of people who could go. So both of them need to fix some minor tweaks. I don't really think either one needs to be VIP package givers, but I feel like they could have done a lot better making sure had more people. Again, it just felt like there was not enough, or when there is enough, they're in the wrong place. So need to get that addressed. Now the big disconnect. The guests for Anime Houston were amazing. Blake Shepard's always great. Gotta give a shout out for that. And some of you heard about the Johnny Young botch car crash. I gotta say, 15 years ago, he wouldn't have shown up. And that crash was horrendous. And he's still, yeah, I'm still here in Houston. Like, yeah, he came by. And props to him. The events, on the other hand, for Anime Houston, other than karaoke and Galaxy Girl Prida, what was there? Still trying to figure out what exactly was going on. They did have their dubbing booth there, but other than that, really not much. The funny part is we have the opposite problem with Colossalcon. The guests were absolutely non-existent. They had Wendy Powell. I haven't seen her in forever. I haven't really had a chance to talk to them. But the events were amazing. There were so many 18 up events. There's just general con stuff you can go to. So they actually picked up where a lot of conventions don't. They actually did elevate adult content. I have an issue. I have a big issue. And see this? Gamer. Right here. The gaming sucked at them both. Yes. Both gaming rooms sucked outright. In the case of Colossalcon, at least they put out a DDR machine. I mean, they didn't do that at Anime Houston. But Anime Houston had better tabletop. They had almost no console gaming. Just, please, hear me out. If you really need somebody to bring some card games or some tabletop or an actual RPG people can play, call me. Seriously. Because you can't do worse than Colossalcon, which had nothing. On the flip side, you can't do worse than Anime Houston when it comes to console games. Heck, did anybody see a PS5 there? I didn't. So, yeah. Boo to both. So, in the end, which one would I recommend? I've been thinking about this for a bit. And when I think about this, I look at this in a prism of, I'm not doing this as a volunteer or staff or anything like that. I would go as a regular attendee. The pricing is better at Anime Houston, but the events are better at Colossalcon. The atmosphere is better at Colossalcon, but the guests are better at Anime Houston. Both of them have great staff members. Both of them have terrible gaming. So, honestly, discounting downtown Houston in the water park, it's a tie. It's a direct draw. That doesn't mean I recommend it over other conventions, but it's kind of hard to say I would recommend either one of them over even Onicon. The way they're trying to fix their stuff. Definitely would not have a hesitation to say better than Anime Matsuri, though that's not hard. I've never been to Ikicon, so I can't speak to that. I'll be honest, it's even. You could go to either one and still do better than 90% of the places you would go to. Although I will say that if you're a gamer, yeah, Delta HCon probably would be better. But that's about the only advantage Delta HCon has. Onicon has a great location for cosplay. That's their advantage. I mean, if you want to pick Anime Houston or Colossalcon, I wouldn't say you do wrong with either or. So, my next convention is more than likely Onicon. That will be in November. I will have another video out for another convention problem later on in the week. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Also, donate to my PayPal at plasmorio2002@gmail.com. I've got other things I need to be doing right now. I've got to go run off and see the tentacle guy for Hentai Fest. Until we'll see each other again, please do better with the gaming. Later.